Big Kel
Kel
and Kahuna
and Kahuna
podcast.
podcast. Mwah. For sure.
You start whenever.
Yeah,
I saw you keep the long entry in the last time. Welcome.
You like that?
I liked it. Welcome, episode 21 of Big Kel.
And Kahuna.
I'm Kelly,
And I'm Alec.
and today is Saturday. I believe it's the 10th of May.
The 10th of May, so no more May the 4th be with you
No,
jokes today.
But Mother's Day is tomorrow.
Indeed
So everybody
it
remember
is.
your moms.
There's, Lonely Island, the guys that are Andy Samberg and the ones that are on SNL.
Yeah.
They do sketch songs, comedic songs.
Right.
So they did a song called Mother Lover with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
So we could love each other's mothers.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That was their follow-up to Dick in a Box, right?
Yeah. Surprisingly, even though it's satirical, some of those songs are really good, and I listen to them just for the joy of it. Like, I just had sex with T-Pain.
Mm-hmm. How about taco songs?
Taco songs are good, too. They're a little bit misogynistic.
Oh, without a doubt
But
they are.
Everyday Normal Guy is a good one. Guns Don't Kill People. Because he's like, guns don't kill people. I kill people with guns. Pow! And he's playing with a
I got it.
plastic Nerf gun. So he's funny too. I haven't heard much from him in a
No.
while.
All right, so we got any updates from last week? I see people agree with Eminem being better than Jay-Z and him looking like a fish.
Eminem is better than Jay-Z. He does kind of look like a fish for sure. Did we do this before the race or after the Miami? I think we did this before the Miami race.
Yeah, right before the race.
So we could talk about that Miami race. The one thing that stood out to me, because this should never happen, especially a team of such high caliber like Red Bull.
Yeah, they were third
How
place.
are you letting that unsafe release happen?
Yeah, but that didn't change anything.
Yeah,
did it?
but luckily Kimi Antonelli reacted, because if he didn't, he would have spun into some
Yeah.
pit wall guys.
No, they said Verstappen asked the team to investigate that, but I thought you were going to say, I've never seen third place 24 seconds behind.
Yeah, that was
And second place was
quite,
within
that
3
was
seconds.
quite a margin. Yeah, Piastri and Norris were within 3 seconds of each other.
And remember,
And
Norris
then
came
Russell
from,
was like 24 seconds behind them.
Remember, Norris went from 1 to 5 at the first corner.
Yeah, because
And he had to battle back.
it's interesting,
He
the
lucked out
new
with that
the new
safety car.
rule. But yeah, he tried to go for that first corner and
Yeah, he
took
didn't
it
get
back
it.
5 spots.
But he got that safety car at the exact right time.
Yeah.
And he
It's-
pitted perfectly. Had he been a quarter mile down the track,
Mm-hmm.
he would not have been in second place.
Something about McLaren and pits and safety cars, man, it's magical for them.
Well,
they
they're
get
doing
really
something
lucky.
good. All right, so what we got?
Um,
No F1 this week. Next
well,
week,
hold on.
Imola.
Yeah, next week is Imola, but let's talk about Lewis Hamilton last week. He was having a case
He
of the
wasn't-
ass.
Yeah, he did, but he wasn't wrong. He had the faster car. They should have let him get by. But what was it? 4 laps later, he didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and then they had to switch back. It was funny, though, when they told him Sainz was behind him. He said, you want me to let him through, too?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously just pissed off at his guys.
Well, Lewis has always been a prima donna.
Yes.
Let's not forget that. But he was the best in the world for a long period of time, and he's not that anymore.
Yeah, but-
and this is the 3rd or 4th year he's not that. And I think, a year after, 2 years after, I could get back there again. I got one more shot. After the 3rd year and then coming to this team and doing worse than he was in Mercedes, he's
He doesn't have a shot.
he's come to realization he's this generation's Alonso.
Alonso. I love that guy.
Because he
man.
could run another 10, 15 years.
Yeah, he could. I don't know. He's too prideful to be like 5th, 6th for another couple years. But hell, man, that's tens of millions of dollars a year.
He might like the lifestyle.
It was interesting seeing him racing with his teammate Nico Rosberg. right? Or was it Kimi Räikkönen who was his teammate?
No, it
who
was
had the feud? Rosberg.
They had the feud.
Rosberg was beating him most of the time.
Well, no, but that's because Rosberg was coming off the top
Right.
while Lewis was coming up, and they crossed.
Right, that makes sense.
But Lewis was the better driver.
I'm still looking forward to next year for sure. The cars are going to be completely changed.
Oh, they said your boy signed
Cadillac.
with Cadillac.
Carlos Sainz signed with Cadillac?
No, Perez.
Oh, Sergio Perez?
Yeah.
He's going to Cadillac? Oh, man, that team
Sainz
is...
doesn't have a car either right now.
That team is doomed. What do you mean? He's at Williams.
Oh, yeah, he's at Williams. No, it was Perez that signed.
I wonder if... Because the other driver who's not driving, who's probably the best of the rest, would be Valtteri Bottas. So I wonder if Bottas gets on Antonelli's team.
I wouldn't take Bottas.
Or Andretti's team. Who would you take over Bottas?
Oh, shit, I don't know who all the reserve drivers are, but I'd go from Sainz or Albon before I went to Bottas.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, wouldn't you?
I'd do Sainz over Bottas.
Yeah, I'd do Albon too. And, you know, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said take Gasly, but he's been dog shit the last two
Williams
races.
was quite good in
5
Miami.
and 6, right?
Yeah, they were doing quite well.
I don't think I've ever seen them in the 15 years I've watched do 2 that high.
Their car was just set up for the track.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's looking like McLaren's year. I think Piastri would be the world champion unless something major happens with the rules being changed halfway through the season and if Verstappen gets on his horse. But that McLaren car is just superior to the Red Bull car as it stands
right now. Yeah, next year will be a whole other thing.
Yeah, we shall see.
So I'd still like to see the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls car become an Audi.
Such a dumb name.
Or, I mean, a Porsche entry.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee if that happens, Verstappen's going. Someone's going to sign him. He'll be the richest driver in F1.
You don't think he stay with Red Bull next year?
Not a chance.
Well, if he doesn't, he's a little sore loser, but he has the right to be.
But he's a sore loser when they fuck shit up.
Right.
He's not losing.
This isn't on him.
The team's losing.
The team's losing. That's correct.
But he is not.
And you could trace this all the way back to when it got leaked that Christian Horner was sending sexy time texts to that one chick on the team.
That was the beginning of the downfall?
Yeah, the beginning of the downfall last year.
Well, maybe that caused a distraction inside of management and with him, and then the attention to detail that they became famous for was forgoed.
And Yost was going at Horner.
Yeah.
And Newey, the guy who designs the cars, I think he's at Aston Martin now. So
he goes next year.
Where is he? He's not at Red Bull right now.
He's not at Red Bull?
I think he's at Aston Martin right now.
All right. I thought one of the cats at Red Bull is going somewhere next year, and he's playing out this year's contract.
I don't know.
I think he's going to Cadillac.
But it would be interesting to see Max on Aston Martin with Adrian Newey, but it's not going to happen because Stroll's not going to get rid of his kid.
No. But Alonso will go there. All right. You got anything for Imola? No.
No, it's a high speed track, so
passing opportunities.
A few. I'm gonna have to give.
How many DRS?
At least 2.
2.
Most of those old tracks have a back straight and a front straight. These new tracks have like 3 DRS zones, but they're not
this is an
as
older
long.
track.
Yeah.
But it should have opportunity in a couple turns to get around, depending on your entry point.
I think I'll give it to Piastri. I'll think Norris would be 3rd, and then I'll put Russell or Verstappen at 2nd.
Yeah, it's a different kind of track, though.
But the thing is,
tracks make races. I like to see how it qualifies. I'd pick from after they qual.
The Red Bull is good at high-speed turns, so I think Imola has a few high-speed turns, so he could have the advantage there.
He could, but
McLaren,
the Mercedes is good in a track that's not too fast,
right?
Not too hard on turn. Kind of like it sets up for this track, but we'll see. Ferrari should set up for this track perfectly, right?
Yeah, you would think, but this is going to be McLaren's track because they're good for straight-hand speed.
It's the best car.
Because they have the flexi wing system, like the mini DRS,
right.
which is going to be outlawed halfway through the season. So
Okay.
it will be curious to see how big of a hit McLaren will take once that happens.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about the UFC for tonight?
UFC for tonight. Jose Aldo is fighting. I
Yeah.
thought he was retired.
No, he's on a win streak.
Oh, okay.
I think he said this is his last time he's gonna fight at this weight class because he's tired of cutting weight.
He's fighting. Shevchenko is fighting.
Shevchenko's fighting a French gal.
That chick that looks like a
Perot or-
dude.
Yeah, but she should beat her.
Shevchenko should beat her.
It'll be tight, but she'll catch her. I hope. And then the main card. That guy gets no respect.
Is that the Darush?
Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal Muhammad. No, I mean he's just one of your generic like Muslim champions.
I think he's Christian.
Oh,
He could be.
I'm sorry, Bilal.
I'm not sure. I have to double check. He might be like Lebanese or Syrian or something. I could be totally wrong, but
Yeah, dude.
yeah, with that last name like that, I'm probably wrong.
UFC just hasn't been doing it for me lately.
Well,
they haven't
their
been
fights,
putting
they
good
haven't been-
cards.
no, they haven't been.
And Dana's raising the price. Apparently, he's in talks with Netflix for a Netflix acquisition of UFC.
Yeah, he'll get it.
Yeah, that could be a lot of money, but there hasn't been a good fight card in a while.
No, that's why I'm hoping the next one has Pena and that blonde gal who's a beast. She's gonna kill her.
Molly.
No, the one that came over from PFL.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's jacked.
Yeah, Kayla.
Kayla Herring.
I don't know. What
Starts
her
with an
name,
H.
but Kayla something.
She's cool. I like to see
Harrington. I
her.
don't know
Did you see Israel Adesanya is training with David Goggins
for what.
just for endurance? Same shit Tony Ferguson did.
Yeah, but Adesanya's problem is not endurance. Adesanya's problem is he got a glass jaw in two of the last three fights.
Well, don't call it a glass jaw against Alex Pereira.
Why?
Because that left hook of Pereira's is insane, dude. Would you want to take it?
No,
I wouldn't.
Of course not. Of course not. All right, and the main card was, who's the main card again? Oh yeah, we already said Bilal Muhammad, but
And Shevchenko.
yeah, we'll see
I like
how
her.
that is.
I love her tattoo. She's got a little gun and bullets
Yeah,
tattooed
bullet.
on her side.
Well,
That's a
we
cool
have
one.
her UFC glove signed.
Yeah, we also have a Nate Diaz glove signed and a Conor McGregor glove signed.
Yeah, I got one of them. I think I got two pair over here. So you got one at your house.
I
No,
have-
you got Masvidal.
Oh
don't
yeah,
you?
I have Masvidal and Diaz.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then I got Shevchenko. Yeah, I got you those two.
yeah. So UFC, I don't know. They need to put on some more interesting fights.
Yeah, they got to do something.
It hasn't been doing it for me lately. That Miami race was fun to watch. It would have been more entertaining if it rained, but such is life.
Yeah, because that qualifying, I mean, that sprint race was something.
That was pretty hectic.
So,
What's going on in the world? You see, J.D. Vance said he's not going to get involved in India versus Pakistan.
well, he shouldn't.
It's not our fight.
No, it never is.
And they've been doing
But-
that for, what, 70 years or
I
hundreds
thought that
of
was
years?
funny. I thought we were sending people over to talk with them.
Talk with who?
The Indians and the Pakistanis.
Well, yeah, I mean, we sent Vance over to talk with him, but he said we're not going to, like, support you guys. Good luck, pretty much.
Of course they know. No one's going to. They've been, like I said, they've
They've
been
been doing
fighting
it.
since the separation, or I forgot what they called it, in 1948. We said last time you
It's
should
over
take a
the,
look at
the
that.
Kashmir region, right?
Well, yeah, but that's different. Because so when the British left, they gave India self-rule, but India
Mm-hmm.
decided that they wanted to split between Hindu and Muslim parts of the country. So wherever there was a Muslim majority, that would become a Muslim state.
Yeah.
Hindu majority, Hindu state. So to the west, it was Pakistan. To the east was Bangladesh. Because Bangladesh split off. They were two sides, but they ended up splitting eventually later. But during that migration, millions of people, they killed each other. When the Hindus were going from Pakistan and India, and,
Yeah.
the Muslims were going from India, they were just killing each other by
Yeah,
hundreds
there's-
of thousands.
There's nothing new there.
So-
In terms of Israel, apparently Trump got upset at Netanyahu because he's not taking his advice seriously.
For what?
De-escalation.
Why would he? Already went in. But how do you de-escalate? Trump didn't tell him to de-escalate.
I don't know. That's what it's from Instagram, so it's probably a lie.
No, I don't think that.
Kanye West released his song that's pissing off everybody.
Listen, I don't even want to give him a second of my time. Although we don't have that many viewers, I don't want to talk about him.
It's a good beat.
Waste of time.
It's catchy.
No, I mean they're working on the trade deals. You still, they were making fun of Joe Biden all week because he went on the View. With
Oh,
his
is that when he
wife.
said he could have won?
Yeah, again.
Maybe he's the bitch of the week.
And he said the reason Kamala didn't win is because people don't like to vote for women.
I don't think that's true. I
that are
think the reason
minority.
she lost is because she didn't even know where she was.
Well, we know.
She said so many crazy things.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is what they were saying was everything that Joe gave an excuse for was bullshit.
Yeah.
So he looked goofy doing it. Somebody said that they should, they're advancing him, they're giving him $30 million to write a book, him and his wife.
That's going to be ghost written.
Most likely. Somebody said they should write exactly what really happened and as his health declined and memory declined. But I was watching was it Gutfeld or someone, and one of the comedians said, you know what? Why don't you just have some mega donor give him $100 million to go away? So.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Oh, well, we have to see.
DeSantis just did something too. He, from I think now until from 4th of July to Labor Day, there's no tax on anything related to the Second Amendment.
Oh.
So weapons, ammunition, attachments.
There you go. To the 4th of July.
I like that. They do that in Florida every year.
Well, they're
They get rid of
advancing.
sales tax.
Well, I'm a firm believer. If you look at the statistics, people who hold guns lawfully in the states, those states have a lower crime rate,
Yeah.
or at least a section that they're in. So we'll go from there.
It's like a way
I
to
haven't-
hold society
I haven't
accountable.
seen too many Karens going crazy, except for the representatives storming the ICE detention center in Maryland the other day, which was quite comical. But aside from that, nothing major.
There was someone I saw. This was a road rage incident.
Mm-hmm.
This woman gets out of her car, drops trowel, and shoots explosive diarrhea on the hood of the other person's car, and gets back in her car and drives away.
That's terrible.
She got arrested. It's funny, when they were perp walking her, one of the reporters was like, "What did you have for breakfast that day?"
That's some of the nastiest stuff, because I've seen clips of security cameras where, someone will go in a grocery store and turn around an aisle and just drop one.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, they all have bathrooms. What is wrong with you people?
I don't understand it. It's more common than you think, too.
Well, at least in San Francisco, there's shit all over the street, they used to say.
I saw this
LA?
Indian woman do a TED Talk, and she brought up a graph, a sphere, and of all the defecation outside, public defecation, and it cut a line down the middle, 50-50, and she said 50% comes from India. 90% of that 50% comes from rural India.
Oh, okay.
So, makes you think. Reminds me of Singapore. That one restaurant we would always go to by the
They didn't have...
the bay. No, but they had those weird toilets where there were just holes in the ground and you have to squat.
Yeah. That's Asian toilets, man. That's African toilets, too.
I know, that's just like a porta john, though, pretty much.
It's the most effective way to shit, supposedly.
Yeah.
But that couldn't work in America. How many people get in a catcher stance to shit in this country?
Oh, my God. Like one 500-pound man will fall forward and bust his head through the door, and there'll be a lawsuit.
No. You know what would happen, though? They'd have to change everything, because every fucking stall would need a handicap stall. Like, if there's nothing to sit on, and people had to, sit on the back of their hamstrings and squat and dump...
They would fall in.
Fall over, lay on them sides, shit on themselves, get stuck, can't stand up.
Yeah, so that's why you need the poles.
You need poles, arm rails, harnesses, stirrups.
Put them in one of those sex swings.
Oh. Maybe that's why you don't usually see fat Asians.
Yeah, can you imagine one of those people who rock those things at Walmart, the little scoots?
Oh.
Imagine one of them trying to squat to take a shit.
Dude, I saw that on a YouTube clip yesterday.
Yeah.
Older lady. She had to be in the late 50s to late 60s, right? My age, I guess. But she was big. She wasn't tall, but she was big.
3 bills big.
Yeah, she probably looked like she's about maybe 5'4", maybe 3 bills. So she's trying to go up 2 stairs from the sidewalk into her, I guess, double wide. And she's got the handrail and her cane, and she can't even get up 1 full step. So her husband tries to come behind her. She scolds him. He steps back like 6 feet. It's all in the ring camera. And then she tries it again, and she gets almost up to lock out, and she goes, ah, and then falls over.
Dude, my favorite
And the
one,
husband just sitting there, just shaking
my
his head.
favorite one of that's when that heavyset woman's leaning on the rail, walking up her stairs, and the rail gives and she falls
Oh, yeah.
out of view of the ring camera, and you
Yeah.
just hear, ah!
Yeah.
And then another one I always liked, too, is the old lady with the gurney or whatever thing, the push thing, that, you know, instead of a cane, you have, like, the thing that...
Oh, yeah, the walker.
The walker. She takes her walker on the escalator and she falls and she keeps
Oh, yeah, she
doing
keeps going
circles. She keeps trying to
the
get
walker.
up and she keeps failing.
Yeah, that one's funny, too.
There's another thing.
Or the ones when they walk into glass doors. Those are funny.
There's just degeneracy all around the malls now. There are guys going around just kissing bald people's heads when... Yeah, they just come up, kiss the dude's head, and he's a big guy, so when they turn around, they're shocked because they can't physically overpower him.
Well, we should hopefully get their ass kicked.
And then there's the other thing I like, when someone's going up an escalator and another person's going down an escalator, and the guy reaches over and, like, touches his arm, freaks him out, and he tries to run up the escalator to get to him.
Yeah, it's funny. It's you either have a good-looking woman going up and getting the guy in trouble because the wife always gives, or girlfriend always gives a shit, or you got a guy going up pretending to be gay to the ladies and then touching dudes. Mm-hmm. I've seen him almost get his ass whipped a couple times.
Yeah,
all right.
That's funny.
But aside from that, really, politics, not too much craziness is going on.
I think Ukraine's coming to an end.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's good.
They got to get...
Canada's being socialist.
Oh, did you see they put... Is it in Alberta? I think the premier of Alberta... put notification in that they want to secede.
To the U.S.?
Away from Canada, I would assume to the U.S. I thought I read that from yesterday, but I'll have to double check.
That's big if true.
Well, Quebec's been trying to do that for 100 years.
But they've been wanting to go to France.
No. France don't want them. They just want to be on their own.
Yeah.
Now, Alberta might want to be on its own. I don't know.
That will be interesting.
Alberta's rich because it's got a lot of LNG and oil.
What's LNG?
Liquid natural gas.
Oh, okay. Mr. Smarty Pants over here with your fracking
Yeah.
terminology.
It's not fracking, but it's different. All right, so that's about it.
Yeah, there's really not much. I mean, it's crazy.
Been a slow week.
All it did was take 100 days under Trump for shit to stop popping off.
Yeah.
So when we first
Some of
started,
this goofy stuff.
when we first started doing this, we had to.
Well, he's winning court cases now.
Yeah,
too.
we had to rank the things we were going to talk about on importance and severity because there was just so much happening.
Yeah. Well, the only social thing this week was the Met Gala.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw some of those pictures. Look, I don't even know. Look, I'll comment on two things. Yeah, the girl from Baywatch.
Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson. She had the weirdest dress. It got like 3-4 times as big as her down below. So it was odd. And not wearing makeup and everything. There's no problem with that. But whoever gave her a haircut, man, it's like...
It's bad.
Well, it's like a 6-year-old. She got bangs, and then it comes down to here, and it's straight across. So the haircut was bad. If she had a decent haircut and a decent dress, she'd still be the best-looking one there. And then Hallie Berry's outfit. I don't know if you saw that one.
I've never been fond of the Met Gala.
Did you see Hallie Berry's outfit?
No.
She had like a black coat on,
Mm-hmm.
and then underneath, she had a dress that had lines, about maybe 2 inches.
Yeah.
3 of them of clothing, straight down the center, and one down each of the breastless areas, and then it came, but only one down the center, all the way down, and with little straps with a coat over.
So you're seeing like side boob?
The side boob was fine, but you saw the coochie.
Yeah.
So it was
Halle Berry's coochie.
for a 60-year-old woman, Alex. She's pretty good shape.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna jiggle this
Just make sure.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, no, Halle Berry's still a top 10. No problem.
Your cats ate my mouse cord.
Yep.
One thing I can talk about in detail on is The Last of Us, the TV show.
Is that zombie show?
It's the zombie show.
I've never watched a single one of that.
But the
Is that with the Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal, well, they killed him off because they killed him off in the second game. But it's supposed to be a whole emotional roller coaster for Ellie because this father figure of hers gets beat to death in front of her with a golf club. And to have Bella Ramsey's stupid face portray that just doesn't make sense. Have you seen Bella Ramsey
I
before?
don't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
This is lost on me.
Well, Ellie does not look like Bella Ramsey.
I don't watch this show.
I don't know how
I don't
they
know the
casted it.
characters' names.
The
I don't know the actors.
Righteous Gemstones season finale, I think, was last week. It was quite good.
Is
It was
that
series finale,
is that third year or fourth year?
fourth year.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Everything Danny McBride does, I thoroughly enjoy. I enjoy his sense of humor.
Now, is he doing a new Eastbound and Down?
No, I don't know what he's doing next.
Okay.
I don't know because he did Eastbound and Down. He did Vice Principals. He did Righteous Gemstones. He did that one thing where they were at the dinner table that I never watched. But he's good. I like him.
Okay. We'll
He's
have
a
to
fun
take a look
guy.
at that. All right, where are we at? You know, book chapters. I was listening to something today. I don't remember what the chapter number is, but everything comes down to nutrition,
Mhm.
right? If technically sleep is number one, sleep would be 1A, nutrition is 1B. But if you can't get sleep, fix your nutrition first to a balanced level, then focus on sleep and nutrition. So be careful your sugar intake, your oil intake, your excessive carb intake.
fat
Get your
intake.
protein in right, get the right kind of fats, you're going to be fine. So
Yeah.
that's it. And health hacks, for me, it's just get out and walk. I try to do that as often as I can. Got 4 miles in this morning with the
Really?
dog. Yeah.
4 miles.
I'm going to the park tomorrow. You want to go?
Which one? Manassas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I want to sleep in. I've been waking up at like 7:30 consistently. I don't
Good.
like it. I don't like it.
Go for a walk.
I like waking up at 9:30.
All right.
And then I got Bingus headbutting my door at like 7 because he wants to be fed.
Right.
So he's getting better though.
Good.
He's less of a kitten, more of a cat now.
Yeah, it's what, a year and a half, 2?
Yeah. Well, his birthday is 4th of July, so he's coming up on 2
Okay.
years.
Yeah, you tell a big difference from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, so first top 5 list. So here's the setup. Only listen to 5 songs for the rest of your life.
Oh.
So you don't pick anybody else's songs up when you're driving by or you hear them in a movie or anything. You only get 5 songs.
Okay.
So here's your playlist. So for me, if I only had 5 songs
5 songs
for the rest of my life to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Phantom of the Opera.
That's
I'm
fair.
sorry. Well, top 5 songs, if these are the only 5 songs to listen to the rest of my life. Number 5, Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden. Number 4 is Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Number 3, Maggot Brain by Funkadelic. Number 2, Hotel California by the Eagles. Number 1, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
Nice. That's a good choice.
Plus is about a half hour of music, and probably about an hour's worth of music in those 5 songs.
Yeah, so that is a perfect segue into mine. In mine, I'm just riffing them. I didn't write them down, so they'll be in no particular order. But I would have to go with November Rain,
Yeah.
number 5. That's by Guns N' Roses, I believe. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. I would have to go The Humbling River by Pussifier. I've tried to play for you a lot. Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then my number 1 would have to be, this is obscure, but it just can't get enough by the Black Eyed Peas. Only because I was listening to it while
It's
we
not a
flew
long, yeah.
while we flew to Singapore, and it resonated with
Okay.
me, so I listened to it every so often. I also every so often listen to this song called Vamos a la Playa,
Yeah.
which is just this Latina woman singing about going to the beach, obviously.
Okay.
But
well, there's your list.
yeah, there's my list of the only 5 songs.
I think you gave 6, but that'll work.
Vamos a la Playa, I wouldn't be
That's
on that
honorable
list.
mention.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you wanted to do the next top five. You want to go first, or you want me to go, or should we just work our way back from 5 to 1?
I'll go first. So, I came up with this top 5 list. It is the top 5 dog breeds.
That you think are cool that
Top
you
5
would
dog
want?
breeds that I would want to own.
Okay.
So, I would go with number 5, a Tibetan Mastiff.
Okay.
Number 4, a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, a Golden Retriever.
Okay.
Number 2 would have to be a German Shepherd,
Okay.
just because of the utility. And then number 1, top dog breed of all time. Just for an homage to our girl, I'll say Shih Tzus.
Okay. All right. So my top 5 that I would be interested in owning if I got another dog. Number 5 would be an Irish Wolfhound.
Mm-hmm.
Long hair, don't
Big
shed,
fuckers.
big, over 200 some pounds. Number 4 would be a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would number 3. I'm going to put it on there, although I would never get one because I'd have to exercise it, which is not a problem walking, but you got to do much more. But that would be a Belgian Malinois.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get a Malinois before I'd get a Shepherd. I've always wanted a Doberman Pinscher.
Oh yeah.
So a Doberman would be number 2. And if I could train it, it'd have to be one of those big dogs, you know, whether it's the Turkish Shepherd dog, what that, the Andalini, or the Cane Corso, a big all black one.
You know what's a good honorable mention?
What's that?
A Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my buddies had
But
one of
those Cane Corsos or Cane Corsos
Mm-hmm.
are like pit bulls double the size. They're like an Argentinian. What's it called? The Argentines have a massive
A
dog.
massive type of dog.
Argentino or something.
I like the ones that are like, oh, you know what's a good honorable mention too? A Husky.
Yeah, I'd rather get a Malamute.
Yeah. I like just the idea that you can get a Husky Wolf hybrid, 97% Wolf, 3% Husky. But you got to keep that boy active or he's going to go after somebody cuz
Yeah, you don't want that.
he's legitimately a wolf.
Makes no sense to keep a wild animal, as far as I'm concerned. All right, so book of the week. I'm gonna go easy. Book of Proverbs from the Bible. So my Christian and Jewish friends would appreciate it. If you're not, take a look and read. It's basically an instruction manual, as far as I'm
Alright.
concerned.
I mean, if we're doing Bible books, then I got to go with the Book of John
Okay.
just because it's one of the best
All right.
tellings or
Yeah.
representations of
A lot of
Jesus
people
Christ.
pick Psalms, any of the 4 Gospels.
Psalms is good.
Once
Psalms
in a while,
is,
you get Romans.
is Psalms just the songs? Which one's just the songs?
Book of Songs, I think.
Okay, well, maybe that
I
was
think.
a stupid question.
I'll have to double. I think that's what it's called. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to see.
Book of Enoch, but I already mentioned
That's
that.
not in the Bible.
It is in the Ethiopian Bible.
I don't think that's in the Coptic Bible. It's in other Bibles.
Yeah, only the Ethiopian Bible is Book of Enoch in. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's in other Bibles too, but they were before the amalgamation. All right. So movies. You want to go first?
Yeah. So a little background because we got plenty of time. You know A24.
Yeah.
They make very artsy fartsy stylistic movies. So the second most recent one was Civil War.
Yeah, I never watched
when
that.
there was a faction going to Washington to
I
overthrow
know
the
about it.
president. And I thought it was just okay because it was a generic A24 movie. So only about 15% there was actual warfare going
Right.
on screen. So the guy that directed that movie got up with this other dude who was, I think he was in Fallujah. But my movie, so that's the setup. So my
Oh.
movie is Warfare.
I watched that the other night.
The one I bought?
Oh, that was hard for me to get through, man.
The Warfare one when they're
Yeah,
caught up in the house and the
Yeah.
Bradleys come? You didn't like that?
I might have fallen asleep towards
Well,
the
you
end.
fell asleep in The Accountant too.
But I got 45 minutes into it. I didn't
It
like.
picks up.
I didn't like the filming.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's like Blair Witch almost.
yeah, it's amateur filming, you
Yeah.
know. Which is like that found
But you
footage
liked it?
found footage type stuff. I enjoyed it
Okay.
quite well. Much better than Civil War. And you know, we're going to see Sinners tomorrow, so
Yes,
that
we are.
might be on our list next week.
It could be. Now, mine for this week is a classic movie from the 80s. I think it was in 80, I don't know, maybe 84, maybe 85. It's Weird Science with those two guys. The guy who played in the last Reacher series, the dad who got shot.
Oh yeah.
So he was also in 16 Candles.
Okay.
But in this one, it's Gary and Wyatt, and they create this woman, instead of like Frankenstein, but it was Kelly LeBrock.
Ooh.
So I thought it was a great movie. It was when I was a junior or senior in high school. It was funny. And at that time, Kelly LeBrock was it. She's like one of the top 2 or 3 actresses, models, gorgeous women in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then to steal a line from, what's his name, Ruxit?
Ruspin.
What's his name? Ruspin?
Ruxin. Rodney
Ruxin.
Ruxin.
A line from Ronnie Ruxin.
Which is Nick Kroll.
After she got married to Steven Seagal, she became forever unclean for me.
Dude.
So she's fallen off of every list I've had. And for a 60-some-year-old woman, she's held it together pretty good. But ever unclean with Steven Seagal.
I can spend a whole hour talking shit on Steven Seagal. You know that front kick?
They all hate him.
You know that front kick Anderson Silva knocked out
Yeah.
Chris Weidman with?
Yeah,
Steven
tried
Seagal
to
was
take credit
going
for it.
around after the fight. He's like, I taught Silva that kick. That was my technique that he used to end the match.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's a terrible
his
person.
movies suck. Even the
The
beginning
first one
ones.
was good.
But he runs like an idiot.
Well, he does. He does.
I think we shat on him last week, but his more
Yeah.
recent movies, he's doing like kung fu in a chair.
He's
He
terrible.
can't get up.
The one where he was a Navy cook on the ship that they took over, Tommy Lee Jones and what's his name took over, Gary Busey.
Goddamn.
All right,
Steven
so
Seagal.
bitch of
that
the
would
week.
that would make her forever unclean. Married
Forever
Steven
unclean,
Seagal.
man. Forever unclean. Now, bitch of the week, I got nobody standing out this week, man.
Joe Biden because of his performance on The View. I
Well,
think that person's right. Someone needs to pay him $100 million to
Just to go away.
make him disappear.
Yeah. Nah,
Steven Seagal can be your bitch of the week.
Nah, it's too easy. I'll double up next week.
You got
Um,
any soccer players who aren't doing so hot? Because the
No.
Premier League is on upstairs, right?
Yeah, if it's at the end of the season, they only got a couple more matches.
Who's facing relegation?
Oh, and I missed the champ. I got to see who the Champions League was Tuesday, Wednesday. I got to see who advanced. Lipwich Town, Leicester, and Southampton. I think again.
How's
They go
Rex-
up, down, up, down,
Yeah.
up, down.
How's
up, down.
Wrexham doing?
They got promoted to the league right under Premier League.
Really?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago they got promoted up. So they got promoted 4 levels.
So they
in
could
4 levels in 5 years.
wow. So they could technically be in the Premier League next year.
No, well,
The season after the one
Yes.
that they just got promoted
Yeah.
for. Gotcha.
but they got to come in and through that league. That's very, very hard to do.
So do you think that
Now-
was a good investment for Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds?
they've already made probably tenfold,
Yeah.
and now they could get other talent like Premier League talent that comes down.
Right.
Other people want to finish off their career.
Yeah.
I know they tried to get Garrett Bale 2 years ago, and he wouldn't do it. But now you got guys that you could get on the back end of deals that want to try to bring a team into the Premier League or who want to make some money. You'll get some fame.
Yeah.
So
Are you following anything regarding Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and what they're doing to that guy?
no, not since we talked about it about 2 months ago.
They're doing him
I don't think
dirty.
anything's changed.
I think he's gonna get retribution once all the court stuff is
I
done.
would agree with you.
Because they screwed that man over.
I'd agree with you.
And now Ryan Reynolds' facade has kind of shattered.
Yeah, it got a little bit of tarnish on it.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what they do with those two Mendez brothers. They're going to have a resentencing hearing, but the recommendation came back.
No.
You're either a low risk, middle risk, or a high risk. And they were a low risk before, but now they're middle risk.
Why? What do they do?
They said one of them was dealing drugs
Oh.
in prison. The other one was help people commit tax fraud. All of which wouldn't have happened in the last couple of years, so they would have known that before. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know how I stand on that. If they did what they said they did, and
their time.
Their only excuse was they say their dad diddled them, right?
Yeah. And they've been in prison for what, 20 years?
30 years.
They've served their time. Let them out.
They killed their mother and dad in cold blood.
So if you were raping me, I'd kill you.
She didn't do nothing.
If you were diddling me and she was a party
but
to
that's
it,
but that's
I'd
if
take
you
out.
believe them saying that, and it didn't even come up in the original trial.
Oh yeah, it did. It didn't even come up until after they got convicted, right?
Right.
So maybe that's like their plan.
Well, that's the
to get out.
hesitancy everybody has.
Yeah, that would be the first thing.
Well,
right?
I mean, if that's what you got to hang your defense on, you got to bring it up first.
Right. Like if I kill you and mom and the cops show up, the first thing I say, even if it wasn't true, because dead man tell no tales, is they were diddling me, they were touching me.
Yeah, they were trying
But
to
it's
line up for
interesting you
cash.
mentioned prison, because there's this one guy, Mr. Ballin on YouTube. He does these mysterious
old
stories.
Seal, yeah.
Old Seal. He actually went to prison for a stint too. So he's been interviewing guys after they get out of prison just to learn the ins and outs of prison. And man, they're talking about some of these Texas prisons when you're in isolation. It's so hot that they throw water from the toilet on the floor and lay on it just to cool themselves down. But the water evaporates after a couple seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you it ain't worse. That's not worse than Seacon.
Yeah, no, it's not worse than Seacot. But one time they shut the water off for like 3 days. So they didn't have any water for 3 days. And then once it kicked back on, what's the first thing everybody did?
Yeah.
Flush their toilets.
Right.
So they all flushed them simultaneously. So they flooded 3 floors of toilets.
Oh.
And it was all trickling down to the people on the bottom
Well,
floor.
that's what happens. Now, you want to see a good movie, Oliver Stone's first movie called Midnight Express.
Midnight Express.
That this guy running hash back from Turkey, and he gets popped.
Oh, yeah.
And this is in the early 70s. And the shit he has to endure as an American in an overseas jail for smuggling heroin with a life sentence.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with those overseas prisons. I was so...
Oh, you got to watch it. It's
American
quite brutal.
prisons, even the bad ones, in like ADX Florence, which is known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. When you're in solitary in there, you're in a room that's probably 6 feet wide and 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
But you still have a metal bed with a top cover. It's like an inch or two. You still have a toilet.
It's still, you're
water fountain
confined,
combo.
man. I don't care what you say.
Sure,
You're confined.
sure, but I'm saying in comparison to, I was watching this one prison in Singapore. Their solitary units, they don't even have a bed.
Yeah.
It's just a
cell.
floor and a little partition behind it where they can shit.
Yeah.
So it's just a concrete floor that they sleep on.
Right.
I mean, in ADX Florence in solitary, they even get TVs.
Yeah.
So they can watch Netflix.
Yeah. Things are different nowadays.
Some people, this one guy was saying, some people during transport, this one guy was telling him, like, man, I want to go back to ADX Florence so I can get my TV back. And the guy goes, all right, so what are you going to do? He goes, well, I'm going to kill somebody. And he's sitting next to him on Con Air. He's like, do you have anyone in mind? And he goes, yeah, probably my cellie. And this guy goes, okay, so I'm not going to die on this plane.
There you go.
But yeah, he got to the cell, told the guy that was there, stand up, we'll fight for the bottom bunk. He didn't want to fight, so he just killed him. Just like that, in cold blood, just to go back and get a little TV.
There you go. They sent him back.
It's a different world, man. I listen to some of these people and I realize I could not fucking make it.
Wouldn't be interested.
I would lose myself psychologically, because this one guy was in the hole for like 9 months.
Really? Well, you be careful. Watch your behavior. That's how
Yeah.
they rectify you. All right. Well, look, that's it. Then it closes episode 21. We'll see you next week. Week after next, we'll have Dan here.
We will have Dan.
In 2 weeks. So episode 23, we'll have Dan. And hopefully we'll have something highlighted special on the 22nd episode.
Yeah,
So with
he was gonna come today, but he's underwater with all the wedding planning, which we understand.
Right.
So best of luck to you, Dan. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
And Tuesday night, we're going out to see the DC rugby team.
Yep.
And we'll report back on Military Appreciation Night, which would be Tuesday the 15th. But then we'll report back and we'll see how everything goes.
That we will.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Tomorrow's Mother Day.
Oh, Tuesday the 13th.
Hug your moms. Don't kiss them on the lips.
Yeah,
be
don't
weird
forget
like
Grandma.
that. Yeah. Shit.
And we'll go with that. All
Dang
right.
it, that means we have to see Sandy
Yeah, we'll
tomorrow.
take care of that. I already said how we're going to do it. All right, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Disclaimer for Generations Unplugged with Big Kel and Kahuna. This is a podcast created for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed in this podcast reflect the personal experiences and opinions of the hosts and guests. Topics like health, fitness, financial well-being, and personal development are discussed based on individual perspectives and are not intended as professional medical, financial, or psychological advice. Listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals before making decisions related to health, lifestyle, or finances. Each person's journey is unique, and results may vary. The creators of Generations Unplugged disclaim any liability for actions taken based on the content of this podcast. Remember, informed decisions and expert guidance are key to building a fulfilling and balanced life.